Hello friends, welcome to this winter red lip makeup tutorial. I'm so excited for you to join me. So let's just get started. I'm starting off with a rough outline that I drew out with my brows using a brown brow pencil from Rimmel. Then I'm going to take my concealer and I'm just going to darken it a little bit with my foundation shade because I didn't want it to be too light. Your concealer should be at least 2 times lighter than your skin tone. So starting off from the bottom of the brow, I'm going to be using an angled brush to carve out that shape that I want, moving very slowly and carefully and just defining that arch and the tail. Then I'm going to do the same thing at the top of my brow. I don't start off from the very beginning of the brow because I don't want a lot of product and a heavy defined line over there. I like it to look more diffused in that area, so I just take it from just after the beginning and I just carve out my arch and the rest of my brow. Then I go back with that excess product on my brush just to shape out the beginning of the brow. As you can see, I've blended out that concealer as much as I can just to avoid product buildup. We are going to cover it with foundation anyway. Next, I'm going to take my orange color corrector from LA Girl Pro Conceal. This is used to just hide your hyperpigmentation or any dark spots that you may have. A little goes a long way, so please use a gentle hand when applying this. I do not recommend to add this step if you're not going to be using a full coverage or medium to buildable foundation. So I'm just going to blend that in using my fingers, and as you can see, those dark spots have basically disappeared. Next up, I'll be going in with my Maybelline Fit Me foundation. I'm in the shade 360 and I'm just going to use a flat foundation brush to apply that all over my face. Please be careful when you are applying the foundation over the areas that we color corrected. You want to dab carefully and gently dab that foundation on those areas to avoid wiping off that product. After I've applied my foundation with my brush, I like to go in with a makeup sponge, a damp makeup sponge. You can get them at Clicks or Discam, and I like to just blend in all that foundation just to give it a more skin-like finish. Next, I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Cool Tan, and I'm just going to apply that on my palm first. I don't like to use the applicator directly on my skin, just for hygiene purposes. This is probably one of my favorite steps. I don't know why, I get so much satisfaction from doing this, but now I'm going to apply that concealer under my eyes as well as on my chin, the bridge of my nose and my forehead. This is just to add some definition back to your face because the foundation kind of just gives you like a clear shape, if that makes any sense. So just to add some dimension so that my face isn't looking flat and weird and like, I don't know, a potato. Some people can actually pull off just using foundation without going in with this concealer step, but I just like the way that it looks on me when I add concealer. Then I'm going to go in with my makeup sponge again. I like to use a different makeup sponge for this step, one that isn't damp like the one that we used in our foundation step, because I find that using a damp sponge does take away from the coverage and kind of just wipes the product off, and we want this step to really give us good coverage. This concealer must really just cover all the dark circles that we may have under our eyes. So now I'm going in with my Yardley Absolute Translucent Loose Powder, and I'm just going to dab that and set all the concealed areas that I have just blended out. Please don't be afraid of this translucent powder, especially for us dark skinned ladies. I know it can be very daunting because it's quite a light color, but when you use a light hand, it can actually blend in very well. And it's not completely white, it does have kind of like a pinkish tint to it, so that helps a lot with preventing flashback. Next, I'm going to contour my face using my Yardley pressed powder in the shade Espresso. You want this to be at least 2 times darker than your skin tone. This is just to add the definition back in your face. I like to suck in my cheeks just so I could see which outline I need to use for my cheekbones. Then I like to go in and around my forehead as well, just to define my face again. Again, adding those dimensions so we look snatched. Next, I'm going to be taking just a small brush, and I'm going to be going back into that Espresso shade, and I'm going to be contouring my nose. I don't like to slim my nose. I just kind of stick to the shape that I have because I like my nose, I guess. So I'm just, again, adding back that definition that I have lost with foundation. Next, I'm going to be highlighting using my MAC's Gold Deposit. I've had this thing since I started building up my makeup collection. It lasts forever. All the dry products actually last for a very long time. Next, using my Slayfordays palette by Swiitchbeauty, I'm going to go in with that kind of mustard tone, and I'm just going to pack that all over the lid. This is going to be our base. Next, we're going to go in with that shade just under that mustard shade that we used first, and we're going to use this to just define the crease. Well, I wouldn't really say define the crease, we're just going to use it as our transition shade. So we're just going to blend it out and around that crease area. For those of you who are going to be using a different makeup palette, of course you can use any. Just remember that the neutral lighter color is going to be packed on the eyelid, and then your crease color is usually a darker shade. Next, I'm going to take a flat brush and I'm going to go back into that shade we had just used for the crease, and I'm just going to sweep that on my under eye. Then I'm going to go in with a much darker brown. I'm going to go back to my under eye where we had just put on that eyeshadow shade, and I'm going to again add more definition to that area. I initially put the lighter color on first just so that the dark brown doesn't look out of place and very harsh. Now we are going to be applying our lashes. I'm going to be using the Eyelure 117 lash. I like to remove that sticky band that it comes with and apply my own glue. This glue is also from Eyelure, from a different set of lashes. Once I have applied that glue to the band, I like to wait 30 seconds for it to get a bit tacky. After that, I'm pressing down my own lashes using my fingers so that they don't get in the way, and gluing the middle part of the lash first. I'm applying it as close to the lash line as I can and then adjusting it on the sides. This process does go a lot easier and quicker if you stay calm, so just take a deep breath. You're not going to poke yourself in the eye, and if you do, it doesn't really hurt that bad anyway. And now I'm just adjusting the lash again, and I'm pinching it with my real lashes. I hate seeing a gap between my real lashes and the fake ones. It really just drives me insane. And now I'm just showing you the difference between lashes and no lashes. I mean, without lashes, I look like a naked mole rat. So your girl needs these lashes to take her look to the next level. The nice thing about using this Eyelure glue is that it does dry clear, so even if you do get some on your eyelid while you're trying to adjust your lash, it's not going to ruin your eye makeup. Now I'm going to be taking Night Moth from MAC and I'm going to be lining my lips. We are going to be going over this with a darker red, which is Diva from MAC, and we're just using this as our lip liner. This is a necessary step for us dark-skinned women if you're going to be using a bright color. You can actually skip the Night Moth step and just use the darker red color as your lip liner. We don't want to go too dark on the lip liner that it creates an ombre look. We just want something to transition the brighter red color that we're going to pack all over the lip. And now we're going to take Ruby Woo, which is a brighter red color, and we're just going to pack that all over the lip. And because we had laid that beautiful foundation with the darker red liner, it just blends in very seamlessly. And now to finish off the look, we are going to set our makeup using the Instant Matte Setting Spray from Essence. This is just to ensure that our makeup lasts longer throughout the day and doesn't move around or become blotchy. And that is the final look, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and found it easy enough to follow. I'll be sure to leave all the products that I use down below in the description box. Until next time, stay beautiful!